Welcome to War Bios, where we delve into the most pivotal battles in American history. Today, we're going to explore the Battle of Chickamauga, a clash of arms that would forever alter the course of the American Civil War. As we begin our journey through the origins of this battle, let's set the stage with a vivid description of the landscape and the key players involved. In the sweltering summer of 1863, the Confederate Army of Tennessee, led by General Braxton Bragg, was reeling from its defeat at the Battle of Stones River. The Union Army of the Cumberland, under the command of General William Rosecrans, had been steadily pushing the Confederates back, seeking to capture the strategic city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. This city, nestled in the southeastern corner of the state, was a crucial railroad hub and gateway to the Deep South. As we examine the events leading up to the Battle of Chickamauga, it becomes apparent that the Union and Confederate forces were engaged in a delicate dance of maneuver and countermaneuver, each seeking to outflank and outmaneuver the other. The Union Army's advance was slowed by the need to repair roads, build bridges, and establish supply depots, while the Confederates sought to exploit these delays by launching surprise attacks and raids on the Union flanks. On August 16, 1863, Rosecrans launched a bold maneuver, sending his cavalry corps under the command of Major General George Crook to raid the Confederate railroad lines in northern Georgia. The raid was a stunning success, with the Union cavalrymen destroying miles of track, burning bridges, and disrupting the flow of supplies to Bragg's army. This daring move forced Bragg to divert troops from his main force to protect his supply lines, weakening his overall position. In response, Bragg ordered his own cavalry commander, Major General Joseph Wheeler, to launch a counter-raid against the Union supply lines. On August 21, 1863, Wheeler's horsemen struck at the Union depot in the town of Stevenson, Alabama, destroying hundreds of wagons and tons of supplies. The raid was a significant blow to the Union Army, which was already struggling to maintain its logistics in the face of Confederate guerrilla activity. As we transition from the origins of the Battle of Chickamauga to its most pivotal moments, let's take a moment to appreciate the intricate web of strategic decisions and tactical maneuvers that led to this point. The armies of Rosecrans and Bragg will collide in a frenzy of bloodshed and heroism that would become one of the most enduring legends of American military history. On September 19, 1863, the armies of Rosecrans and Bragg collided in a frenzy of bloodshed and heroism that would become one of the most enduring legends of American military history. The battlefield itself was a complex tapestry of woods, ridges, and valleys, with the West Chickamauga Creek flowing sluggishly through the center. As the Union Army advanced, they encountered a series of Confederate defensive lines, each one anchored on a key terrain feature. One of the most critical moments in the battle came when the Union 14th Corps, led by Major General George Thomas, launched a bold assault against the Confederate right flank. The fighting was intense and chaotic, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. As the Union troops pushed forward, they encountered a series of entrenched Confederate positions, including the infamous Horseshoe Ridge, where the 1st Tennessee Infantry Regiment put up a fierce resistance. Meanwhile, on the Union left flank, the XX Corps, led by Major General Alexander McCook, was struggling to hold back a series of ferocious Confederate counterattacks. The Confederates, led by Lieutenant General James Longstreet, were determined to crush the Union Army and drive them back into Tennessee. As the day wore on, the fighting grew more intense, with both sides trading blows and neither gaining a decisive advantage. As the sun began to set on September 19, the battle was far from over. The Union Army had suffered heavy casualties, but they still held a tenuous grip on the battlefield. The Confederates, however, were determined to press their advantage and drive the Union troops back. As night fell, both armies regrouped and prepared for another day of fighting. The next morning, September 20, the battle resumed with renewed ferocity. The Union Army launched a series of desperate counterattacks against the Confederate lines, but they were repeatedly repulsed. As the day wore on, it became clear that the Confederates had gained the upper hand. The Union Army was in full retreat, and the Confederates were in hot pursuit. As we reflect on the Battle of Chickamauga, it's clear that this was a pivotal moment in American military history. The bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers on both sides are a testament to the enduring power of human courage and determination. As General Ulysses S. Grant would later say, Chickamauga is one of the most remarkable battles of the war. The battle was a draw, but the Confederates gained a great moral victory. As we transition from the height of the Battle of Chickamauga to its decline and aftermath, let's take a moment to appreciate the profound impact this conflict had on the course of American history. The Union Army's defeat at Chickamauga would ultimately lead to the replacement of General Rosecrans with General Grant, who would go on to win the war for the Union. The Union Army's defeat at Chickamauga in September 1863 led to significant changes in command and strategy. General William Rosecrans was relieved of his duties as commander of the Army of the Cumberland and replaced by General George Thomas, who would go on to play a crucial role in the ultimate Union victory. Meanwhile, the Confederate Army, despite their tactical victory at Chickamauga, suffered heavy casualties that they could ill afford. The aftermath of the battle saw both armies regrouping and reassessing their positions. The Confederates, led by General Braxton Bragg, attempted to capitalize on their victory by launching a siege of Chattanooga, Tennessee, which was a crucial Union stronghold in the region. However, the Union Army, now under the command of General Ulysses S. Grant, was able to break the siege and ultimately drive the Confederates back into Georgia. The Battle of Chickamauga marked a turning point in the war in the Western theater. The Confederate victory, although costly, had given them a temporary advantage, but it was short-lived. The Union Army's ability to regroup and counterattack would eventually lead to the fall of Atlanta and the ultimate defeat of the Confederacy. In the years following the battle, the site of the battlefield would become a place of pilgrimage for veterans and civilians alike. In 1890, the Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park was established, preserving the battlefield and honoring the memory of those who fought and died there. Today, the park is one of the largest and most visited national military parks in the United States, serving as a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made during the American Civil War. As we reflect on the Battle of Chickamauga and its lasting legacy, it's clear that this conflict had far-reaching consequences for the course of American history. The bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers on both sides are a testament to the enduring power of human courage and determination. As General Grant would later say, Chickamauga is one of the most remarkable battles of the war. The battle was a draw, but the Confederates gained a great moral victory. However, in the end, it was the Union Army's ability to adapt and persevere that ultimately led to their victory. In conclusion, the Battle of Chickamauga was a pivotal moment in American military history, marking a turning point in the war in the Western theater. The bravery and sacrifice of the soldiers on both sides will always be remembered, and the legacy of this conflict continues to shape our understanding of the American Civil War today. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the Battle of Chickamauga. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.